Good afternoon and welcome into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've got some BWB Premier Division action for you today as the Manchester Revolution host the Plymouth Fusion. My name's Kaz Bullock and joining me is the one, the only Robin Love. And we're going to be with you throughout today's game, which is due to tip off very shortly. So the Manchester Revolution are currently sitting at 3-1 in the table, which is good for second. They're playing in their first game since late November, when they took on the London Titans in what was a statement win, 84-68 in that one. Martin Edwards, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and Finn Tonner adding in 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. So, Robin, it feels like it's been a while since we've been here, and the Revolution have had a bit of time off. Preparations underway for Euro Cup next week that they're playing in. How are they going to be feeling going into this one?
I think they'll be excited, confident. They've got a few new players on the roster this morning, afternoon even. Don't know where I am.
It's been a long day so far.
Yeah, they've got a few new players on the roster, so I think they'll be excited to kind of put their stamp on this Manchester Revolution team ahead of Euro Cup, which is next weekend, where they'll be heading out to Hanover to compete with the professional clubs in Europe and show what British basketball is all about.
And I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about the Euro Cup later on, but at the moment we've got Plymouth Fusion heading up to Manchester. So they last played a couple of weekends ago against the Jaguars, had a close loss, 60-47 in that one. Daniel Smith, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists and 3 threes for him. Joel Clifton adding in another 17 points with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. So Daniel Smith, he's a knockdown three-point shooter. He's been doing it all season long, and he's going to be someone the Revolution need to keep an eye on today.
Absolutely, I'm sure that's a stat that Dan Johnson will be highlighting. No threes, stop high, because not only are they, playing against this Plymouth team, but they will have to stop the powerhouses out in Euro Cup, and this is the perfect game to practice that with Daniel Smith, I'm sure, looking to show what he's got in Manchester today.
And we saw last game out back in November, Billy Bridge decided to just hit threes at the buzzer, just incredulous threes.
Yeah, casual threes from Billy's book, I think. He's an incredible scorer, Billy Bridge. He shoots them for fun. He's sometimes a better 3 shooter than a 2 shooter. He just seems to have the eye for it. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a bit of battle of the threes today. No doubt whoever puts one up first, the other person will be answering right back, which, I like that, a wee bit of 3-point argy-bargy.
That's what we want to see. That's what the people want to see. It's a shootout. So the Plymouth Fusion currently at 5th in the standings. They have 1 win and 2 losses. And they're going to be wanting to try and get one over on the Revolution today. So starting fives for both teams. For Plymouth, it will be Daniel Smith, Adele Atkin, Joshua Steels, Jordan Bright and Joel Clifton. And for the Revolution, it's not yet up on the stat sheet. Should we take a wild guess? But great to see Gary Dawson back in the roster for the Revolution this season. Yeah,
absolutely. Had some time away. Gaz Dawson had a wee operation, carpal tunnel on his hand, so now he's back, fully fit and ready to go. He is someone who does a lot of charity cycle races as well for the Spinal Cord Injury Association that he works for. No doubt he'll be excited to show on his social media where he shows what it's like to be a person who uses a wheelchair all the time. Shows what his life is like, and no doubt you'll be seeing a lot of what Euro Cup is like and what it's like competing out in a professional environment. So get yourself to roll with it, which is Gary Dawson's Instagram, where you can see all things wheelchair user life.
Yeah, give him a follow. He's a great follow. So starting 5 for the Revolution: Finn Tonner, Martin Edwards, Tyler Baines, Billy Bridge and Gary Dawson. And it is Revolution ball for the first possession as Baines gets inside, trying to find some space. And that's a foul, a quick foul early on. And it will be a Revolution ball. Oh, apologies, that's 2 shots. So that sends Baines to the line. And Tyler Baines, a new signing for the Revolution this season.
Yeah, he's a great addition. to the squad, developing his confidence. You know, he's someone that will be pushing to try and be selected for the Paris Paralympic Games with GB.
And goes 1 of 2 from the line. Gets his own rebound though, so another chance on offense for the Revolution. And Baines again inside. Oh, nice scoop from the right-hand side. And it's picked up there by Plymouth. Smith. Round to Clifton. Right, Clifton gets it back. Shots up and doesn't drop. Bridge with the first rebound for the Revolution. Great long pass over to Edwards on the break. And Martin Edwards underneath just lays it in from the... And that's something that's going to be dangerous for Plymouth, isn't it? If the Revolution can get into that fast break transition that they like to play. Shots up, and that is good. Nothing but net for Smith.
You see both teams have gone for a kind of 4 big kind of setup with 2 one-point players on. So the matchup they've got, I imagine they'll try and stay the same.
Edwards for 3, off the rim. Steels, he's got a lot of space there, swings it round to Bright. Back to Steels. And good hands there from Bridge, pressuring the ball. And offensive foul call.
It was about to be a steal by the long-armed Gaz Dawson. Without the foul, either way it would have been Manchester ball.
And that's what Gary Dawson brings to the team, isn't it, Robin? Like the pressure that he puts on defensively.
Absolutely, he's a very physical player, long, very long arms, pretty rapid to be honest as well. He's got everything you want in a one-point player.
And Edwards hits the basket, draws the contact, so he's going to go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play. And Martin Edwards just picking up where he's left off. He's the leading scorer for the Revolution, 28.5 points per game, along with 10 rebounds. He's just a double-double machine.
Yeah, it's no surprise, you know, he's just won the European Championships with the GB men's squad. And he's bringing that experience into this Manchester team ahead of the Paralympics again, where he'll be looking to get selected, and putting in double-double performances consistently will certainly help towards that.
Bright, round to Steels. Clifton looking to get inside, comes up against Edwards and he's blocked. Clifton gets it back. Round to Bright. Oh, nice pass inside. And foul on the shot.
See Manchester jumping both sides, making it really difficult for Plymouth to take an outside shot. And because they're not helping from the middle, they're helping from the opposite side, the weak side. It's just that time and that skip is just allowing that time for the defence to recover.
His first shot is short. So these two teams faced each other earlier this season. The Revolution coming out on top in that one, but Dan Smith, as he hits the second, had 22 points in that game. And as we mentioned before, a scary 3-point shooter. Baines over to Edwards. Back to Baines. Bridge got space for 2. Shot doesn't go.
Wee bit of a miscommunication there between Billy and Gaz Dawson. Dawson was trying to curl him in, but Billy, a renowned outside shooter, just wanted a wee bit of a screen. I'm sure they'll have a wee chat about that.
Clifton coming up against Dawson. Long pass over. Smith round to Steels. Clifton gets it back. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And in and out and back in again.
Fantastic shot. You know, they're getting 4 shots like that all game, jumping both sides, making it really challenging.
Bridge found some space, thought about the shot. Comes up against 3 Fusion players as it swung round. Tonner looking to get inside. 4 seconds on the clock, and Tonner with a tough jumper from the baseline.
since coming back from the tournament with the GB squad, the junior squad. He's really developed in confidence, Finn Tonner, and he's certainly carried it through to this Manchester team, and it's exciting to see.
I think it definitely is, and you can see the improvement on last season as well. It's always really exciting to see young players develop, and bringing home the gold in November last year, just a great achievement. Bridge doesn't drop. Clifton over to Atkin. Atkin looking to hand it off, gets it to Bright. And Clifton back to Smith. Smith's 3 is up, and that's no good. So it'll be Revolution ball, 8-5. Manchester lead here with just 5:38 to go in the first quarter. Edwards round to Tonner. Oh, nice pass inside, bit of a miscommunication, but I can see what Tonner was trying to get the ball over to Dawson.
It's one of those, as a low point player, you never know if they're trying to follow you or if they're going to pass it to you. You've got so many jobs to do, you're unsure which one you're supposed to do in that moment.
Good hands there from Dawson as Smith manages to keep it. Back to Steels, and Steels with the long 2, doesn't drop. Baines resets for the Revolution. Edwards, pass into Dawson. Just can't keep a hand on it. And we've got a whistle on the floor. And the Revolution finding that look inside to Dawson, who's just underneath the basket. Hasn't kind of come off the last couple of plays, but it's a good positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think they're trying to run this kind of jump trail on Gaz, and once they kind of master that pass in, and it's kind of tough because obviously as a 1 point player, you don't have very good rotation, so you've almost got to just look up above you and hope that the outside shooter has made the perfect pass into your lap.
Smith from the free throw line, too strong. Tapped into the hands of Atkin. And Steele looks to back it out. Round to Bright. Smith with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Plymouth need to get something off here. Bright at the buzzer. No good. And another key defensive performance there from Manchester, as Bridge goes all the way and can't get it to fall. That's unlucky for Bridge. Smith into the corner. Clifton working his way inside, banks it in. Cuts the Revolution lead to 1. Manchester looking to answer here. Tonner. Nice look from Tonner, doesn't fall. And Plymouth with a chance to take the lead on this possession.
Manchester just needing maybe just a little kind of set, not a set play, but you know, they're well known for their balance on offense, and I think maybe a power with Martin Edwards wouldn't go amiss.
This ball is out of bounds. We've got a time out for Plymouth. Coach Aaron Blythe-Park wants to talk things over. So with 3:07 left in the first, it is Manchester 8, Plymouth 7. Leading the way for Manchester is Martin Edwards with 5 points, and Dan Smith has 3 for the Fusion. Joel Clifton with 4 for Plymouth. So last time these two teams faced each other, it was the Revolution that came out on top back in October down in Plymouth. And Robin, as we mentioned, the Manchester Revolution head into Eurocup this week, and they'll be playing in Group B alongside the Sheffield Steelers. We've also got some representation from the London Titans in Group A, and the Plymouth Fusion were playing Eurocup 3 in Group C later on in the year. So how great is that to have that much British representation in the European competitions?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, it used to just be, you know, Oldham Mills, now Manchester Revolution and Steelers and London, those kind of 3 teams representing Britain out in the European competitions. But now it's fantastic. You're seeing these other teams being brave and also fundraising to get to these competitions to show what, you know, the British clubs have got to offer. To me, it's fantastic. You know, Euro Cup, I've competed with Manchester Revolution a good few times out for the Champions Cup qualifiers out in Landale and various other places. So it's a fantastic competition, one where you see charity organisations like Manchester Revolution competing against professional clubs out in Europe where players are paid and they train full time, competing against our guys who of course pay to play.
Yep.
So you know, it's fantastic to see, and no doubt in the future that would be the aim of the British League, is to make it more professional and make it so that our players stay in Britain and want to compete for our British clubs. But until then, they're going out there and showing what charity organisations can do.
Definitely, yeah. So we see back onto the court, it is Patrick Rueck into the game for the first time for the Revolution, playing for the Swiss national team. A great signing and addition to the Manchester squad.
Absolutely, he's attending university out here and just so happened to want to play wheelchair basketball, which meant that he played with Manchester Revolution. It's very exciting, and I think we have to claim that he might be the tallest one-pointer in the world at a staggering 6'7".
That is very tall. And we'll give him that title. I think he'll enjoy that.
He's a big boy.
So it's end line ball for the Fusion, as Manchester have a slim 1-point lead here in the first quarter. Pass over to Bright. Steals against Tonner into the corner. And long pass back. Nice ball movement to get it inside to Clifton, who draws the foul. And that will send Joel Clifton to the line. And Joel, one of the players playing for the Junior National Championships at the under-18s level in August this year, the Kukuri National Junior Championships, representing England South in that competition.
I like how you say that, Kukuri.
Kukuri. Is that the correct?
I think I'd say kukri myself, but
Kukuri.
Kukuri sounds pretty good.
I was just putting some flair on it. So. So first one doesn't drop for Plymouth. But again, it's great to see players getting the opportunity to showcase their talents at competitions like that. Second one's a short, but rebound Plymouth. And Clifton, nice finish inside. And that puts the Fusion ahead by 1. So Manchester looking to answer here. Tonner hands it off to Bridge. Edwards back to Bridge. And banks it in.
2 bank shots in a row for Billy Bridge.
And we've seen him do that all season long. That's a shot that he likes to take. As Clifton. Rueck got a hand on that. Bright round the outside. Long twos up and bounces out again, chases down the rebound. Plymouth doing a good job on the offensive boards, getting themselves those second chances. Edwards up ahead to Baines, and Baines unopposed. Oh, it bounces out, but Bridge is there for the rebound and puts it back in and saves Manchester on that one. .30 seconds to go in the quarter. Clifton. Out to Smith. Swings it round. Shot short, Bridge with the rebound. Out to Tonner. Tonner powering down the court. Nice handoff there to Baines, who lays it in. And that's a nice few possessions from the Revolution, just increasing the lead to 5. 3 seconds to go. Bright. Shot won't go, and at the end of the first quarter, the Revolution up 5, 16 to 11, after that swing just there in the last 30, 40 seconds or so, Robin.
Yeah, I think it was just the fast breaks that got them. If, of course, Plymouth were able to kind of capitalise on that offensive rebound, it'd be a tiny bit of a different story. Finn Tonner just breaking a bit early and not boxing out. You heard Martin Edwards screaming, of course, dissatisfied, and they made sure next time that didn't happen. So, you know, offense doesn't start until defense stops, and of course boxing out is just key to that. And I think Finn Tonner's learned that lesson. You know, Manchester Revolution aren't a massive team, especially when it comes to Euro Cup, when you're playing against these absolute giants. So for them, you know, they can't get into bad habits of not boxing out, because they just don't have the size to be able to capitalise on that. So I think that's a habit they'll get out of. This is a good practice here now for ahead of next week. But I think if I was Plymouth, I'd be pretty chuffed for that first quarter. You know, Manchester are playing really tough defence, jumping both sides, double jumping on the side that Adele Atkin is on, trying to really force the ball handler to make mistakes. So it's been tough for Fusion to get shots, or easy shots, so no shot that they've had has been easy. And if they can maintain that for the next 3 quarters, I think we'll have a really good game on our hands.
Yeah, definitely. And the Fusion have done a really good job rebounding offensively as well. Like you said, they're taking the shots they're taking are tough, but if they've not gone, they've been able to get them back. Out rebounding the Revolution 3-2 at the moment. So onto the court for the first time for Manchester. Kaylee English into the game, and Ibrahim Ahmadi in his first game for the Revolution this season. Plymouth ball to start things off. It's Bright. Round to Steels. Clifton had space on the shot and nets it.
And that's the defence that we talked about, where they're not helping from the middle, they're helping from the opposite side. And that time the defence couldn't recover quick enough to that outside shot, which made it a lot easier for Joe.
Bridge for 3, nothing but net.
Will the reply be imminent?
Let's see. Because we were having a bit of a shootout last time against the London Titans, with Gaz Chowdhury dropping in a few. Steals. And to Clifton. Long pass over to Bright. He's got space. And that's too strong. Bridge keeps it alive, gets it over to Tonner. And Tonner's going to have to back out, wait for the team to catch up. Tonner's shot's good.
That was absolutely naughty from Finn Tonner. Hand in his face. He's feeling himself.
Tonner, 11.3 points per game this season. 5.8 rebounds, been so crucial for the Revolution. As Clifton on the baseline looks to shoot over Tonner, and does. That's a tough basket from Clifton.
That's a fantastic shot. He noticed that Finn Tonner isn't a massive player, and it's almost a bit of a mismatch for him. So defensively, maybe Manchester will need to get better balance there to ensure they've got a big on each side.
Nice handoff there from Edwards to Tonner, who lays it in. And a quick start to the quarter here for Manchester, as the lead goes up to 8. Three doesn't go for Plymouth. Bridge with another rebound, that's his 5th. Edwards over to Bridge. Bridge again with space, and can't get the roll on that one. You can't give Billy Bridge any kind of daylight to get a shot off. Steals, round to Smith. Steals, 6 seconds on the shot clock. It's intercepted by Tonner. Good D there from the Revolution, as Ahmadi swings it over to Bridge. On a great pass into Tonner, but can't get that to drop. As Clifton controls things for the Fusion. It will be sideline ball, Plymouth. we will have a timeout for the Revolution as Coach Dan Johnson wants to talk things over. So a 23-15 lead here for Manchester in the second quarter. Manchester coming out firing after that first.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think now they'll maybe just be talking about where they want balance, or perhaps defensively they have kind of slowed down a little bit, given Plymouth more time to take their shots. The jump hasn't happened as quickly as maybe they would have liked. So maybe he's just reiterating kind of defensive physicality, because it has reduced a tiny bit, I would say, with this new lineup on. They'll just be kind of getting into the game, but it's important to just reiterate that.
And if you're Plymouth, you don't want this lead to get too far ahead before you head into half-time.
Absolutely, and for them, I think they just need to move the ball a bit faster, like they were doing, and that's where they got that beautiful shot from Joel and the wing. Just move that ball, and perhaps as well a bit more separation on the pick and roll. They're only dribbling a foot maybe. I would personally like to see them just extend that a bit more, just to give the picker a bit more space, a bit more separation between the ball handler and the picker.
So into the game for Plymouth, Aaron Blythe-Palk also coaching the team. And Hayden Knowles in for the first time. Clifton thought about the shot, swings it round. Bright's got space at the free throw line, knocks it down. And coming out of a timeout, that's exactly what you want from your first possession if you're Plymouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amadi over to Edwards. Bridge back to Amadi. Good ball movement here from the Revolution. Edwards spins, fires, hits!
Nice ball movement there from Manchester. You know, often in wheelchair basketball it goes one past the middle, one past the other side, shot up. I like that they swung it back and moved the ball a bit.
He's finding that great look rather than the good look, isn't it? The extra pass. As Knowles' shot doesn't drop.
That's unlucky. I like the kind of curl on the weak side there from the Plymouth number 11.
And foul is called, so that will send the ball back with Plymouth. And that's just the first team foul on the Revolution this quarter. Bright round to Clifton. Gets it back. Bright's finding that space at the free throw line. Passed it out there to Clifton. And it rims out, but a few possessions that Plymouth have had, Bright has had that space at the free throw line.
That might be a coaching decision. It might be they've picked one person that they want to take the shots. You know, you can't defend everybody.
Tonner's shot is short. And Knowles comes up against Amadi, has to pass it out to Bright. Bright saved in by Clifton, does keep it alive. One second on the shot clock. Plymouth need to get something off here. And that will be a 24-second shot clock violation. And again, some good defensive pressure from the Revolution.
And now we can see Kaylee and Billy got a back pick here, trying to create a bit of numbers, 5-on-4. Oh, never mind. He got back in pretty easy.
And Kaylee, your teammate this season on the Loughborough Lightning, playing in the Women's Premier League.
Yep, absolutely. She's doing well here for Manchester. Bolton lassie.
Clifton against Bridge. Can't get that to go. Gets his own rebound and puts it back in though. Good hustle there from Joel Clifton. Amadi. Nothing but net. First points of the game for Amadi. And that's that just sums up to me Ebby's shot. Just perfectly relaxed, composed, takes his time and goes in.
Yeah, he's a bit of a wild card, really. You don't know what he's going to do, and then he whips out these absolutely incredible shots.
Clifton, he draws the foul. So Joel Clifton headed back to the free throw line, currently leading all scorers with 12 points in the game. And a chance to cut into this Manchester lead. Got just under 4 minutes to play before half time. Manchester with a 27-19 lead. First is good. Second, also good. It's Revolution with a 6-point lead. It's Edwards. Pressured on the shots. Out to Amadi. And was that a 3-second call?
It was, yeah, on Fintona.
So Plymouth will get the ball back. We'll have a timeout. So 27-21, 3:40 to play here in the second half. Plymouth have done a good job of answering that Manchester run.
Yeah, they absolutely have. You know, I think they seem to have a lot of tenacity about them, which is great to see. You know, you face a side like Manchester, you are the underdogs. You know, a relatively new team into the Premier League. I really like how they're kind of representing themselves and their team here today. You know, I think they're doing a great fight, and you know, I don't think the game's over. I think if they keep playing the way they are, keep getting some offensive rebounds, chip it away, I think we're in for a really exciting game.
Definitely, and that's what you need to do, isn't it? Just take it possession by possession, shot by shot, and the Revolution only outscoring Plymouth 11 to 10 points in this quarter, so nothing in it.
Nope, nothing in it, and I think you can see Manchester not necessarily happy with how they're playing at the minute. I think it's all about they're maybe being told where to be in preparation for next week, so that's what's on their mind. Because you can tell really that last offensive possession, the balance wasn't quite right. So hopefully they'll rectify that for the last part of this second quarter.
So let's see what they can do coming out of that timeout as Clifton is pressured at the halfway line.
It looks like to me they're adding a bit of a press into this game.
Bright, another offensive rebound for Plymouth, gets it into the hands of Smith, who hits that one. And again, coming out of the timeout, Plymouth just doing exactly what they want to do. And you see there the importance of those offensive rebounds, those second chance points.
Yep. Manchester just need to grab that ball.
Bridge looks to get inside. Nice handoff there to Amadi underneath the basket.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted in the possession before. Amadi in the middle to take advantage of that triple, that help coming from the middle.
And this press here really pressuring the Fusion as Clifton looks to make some space. Nice handoff to Smith underneath the hoop. That's going to be a foul on the Revolution. So end line ball for Plymouth.
Martin Edwards now on 3 fouls going into the last two and a half minutes of this second quarter. He's going to have to just mind himself.
And do you think we might see him come off for the last few minutes of this quarter? Or
he's an experienced player. He knows how to kind of play the refs and not get himself into trouble. What it might mean though is that they've got to give up some shots like that where Martin can't necessarily get close and contest those shots. Oh. Fintona dropped the ball on the inbound and Amadi then passed it back to him. So even though he dropped it, he still passed it inbound.
So it's Plymouth back. Chance to cut this to a 1-possession game as Clifton is swarmed in the corner. And that's a great shot there from Knowles. And it's a 2-point game.
They just seem to have found something with that weak side, with that curl in and then the driving in baseline.
And no basket fouls on the floor before the shot. So it's going to be end line at ball for the Revolution. Plymouth have been able to counter Manchester here in the second quarter. As Bridge spins round to Amadi. Edwards. That's a tough shot.
I love that little kind of tweener mismatch shot. It's a really tough shot to defend. The baseline big defender doesn't know whether to come up and switch because it's a bit further up than the block, so they've got time to either curl or just time to get that shot off. So being able to hit that tweener shot is a great shot to have in your repertoire as a big player. George Bates, my coach at Lightning, former GB world champion, was an expert at it.
And it's great. We get to see Martin Edwards do it every time we see a home game here. It's
Exactly,
great to see in person.
And you'll see them both probably do the same thing as they play against each other in Euro Cup next weekend, so they'll both be at it.
So 1:20 to play here as Edwards, back-to-back baskets for Martin Edwards.
And if you can do it fading away as well, that's pretty impressive.
And a great answer there for the Revolution. So with Edwards on 3 fouls, hitting back-to-back baskets, increases the lead back up to 6. As we've got a foul call, it will be a sideline ball for the Fusion.
This press is just causing a few problems for Manchester. They're just getting beat one-on-one and then fouling by accident, to be fair. Martin and Finn both committing fouls. Their communication maybe just needs to be a bit better on the switches to ensure people don't get into trouble.
As Clifton pass inside to Bright. Shot doesn't fall, but he's fouled.
Second foul in 30 seconds for Finn Tonner.
So end line at ball for Plymouth. And with the Revolution on 5 team fouls for the rest of the quarter, 46 seconds to go.
Finn Tonner also on 3 fouls alongside his teammate Martin Edwards.
So that's 2 key players for the Revolution. First free throw doesn't go for Plymouth. As Bright's second is good. Leads it back down to 5.
I wonder what shot Martin Edwards is going to look for.
Bridge for 3. Knocks it down. Billy Bridge with a huge 3 there for the Revolution. A great answer. We've got 33 seconds to play. And fouls called on Amadi. That's his first. But with the Revolution on 5 team fouls, that's going to send the Fusion to the line. So Dan Smith will be shooting 2.
Again, that's just the press now causing all these fouls. And Manchester just aren't switching on early enough.
First is good. Second, also good. Leads back to 6. So 4-second difference between the shot and game clock. Plymouth will get 1 more shot after this for the Revolution if they choose to wind the clock down. Amadi. Great handoff there to Tonner with the reverse. And Plymouth, 8 seconds. Clifton. Trying to find some space. Smith for 3 at the buzzer. Too strong off the front of the rim. So at the end of the first half, it is the Manchester Revolution 36, the Plymouth Fusion 30. And Plymouth making a really good run here in the second, Robin, to keep themselves in it.
Yeah, fantastic, and also knocking down those free throws. You know, that's going to be an important part of this game if Manchester are going to press and foul, and I imagine the second half will look a bit different as they try and not commit as many fouls because they're in a bit of foul trouble. But for the Plymouth Fusion, I think they're just doing a fantastic job of maintaining their composure in that press break. And then knocking down those free throws.
Yeah, 10 free throw attempts for the Fusion, hitting 6 of them, so 60% to the Revolution's 3.
Yeah, it's fantastic, fantastic. You know, real composure. They've driven a long way. Have you ever seen Plymouth on a map? Pretty far.
Not close to Manchester, is it? It's not around the corner.
It's not close to Manchester at all. So, you know, that long drive up, and they had a good solid warm up. I was watching them, and it's really carried into this game. So they should be really impressed with their performance, and like I said, it's anyone's game, 6-point game at the half.
And something that really stands out to me, Robin, we did mention it earlier on, but 5 offensive rebounds for the Fusion to the Revolution's 2. Plymouth with 6 second chance points, and Manchester with just 2. It's those offensive rebounds, those extra chances that you create are just really important.
Yeah, it's punishing them. They're just getting punished for not grabbing those boards and not boxing out. Plymouth, again, they tweaked it. They brought on, what's number 11's name? That's terrible.
Sorry, it's Aaron Blythe Park.
Alan, he's doing a fantastic job of curling in weak side with number 38.
Knowles. Hayden Knowles.
Those two are doing a great job on that weak side, punishing and punishing and punishing. In the first quarter, you saw Plymouth just accepting the kind of screen and outside shot, which is what Manchester Revolution, that's the ideal. If you're going to give up a shot, give that one up. But now they've changed tack and they're trying to curl in and taking advantage of that height mismatch with Finn Tonner on the 5-spot baseline defending, with Knowles towering over the top of him, just taking that mismatch. So, you know, they've identified that almost weakness there, and they've really taken advantage of it. So, great coaching move by Plymouth. So, I'm excited to see how Manchester tweak going into this third quarter.
Definitely, so Manchester with Finn Tonner and Martin Edwards both on 3 fouls each with a full half to go. How do they adapt to that?
Well, we saw Martin Edwards not fully defending Joel, and the key that's going to be the case. He's not going to be able to be as physical on defence, which is what he's known for. Martin Edwards is an excellent defender. But if he gets anywhere near those kind of post-up shots, there is a risk that the referee will call foul. So he's got to stay away from that kind of situation, and maybe the help is going to have to be from Billy or from Tyler, or perhaps they'll bring young Henley on for an opportunity where he's just the help in the middle to kind of protect Martin.
And if you're Plymouth, is that something you want to try and take advantage of? You know they're on 3 fouls, drive at them, try and force them into a difficult situation.
Definitely. And these young players, I'm sure, will be fearless from Plymouth Fusion to do just that.
So at the end of the first half, it is the Manchester Revolution 36, Plymouth Fusion 30. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in around 4 minutes' time. Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We're getting ready for the second half between the Manchester Revolution and the Plymouth Fusion in what has been a back and forth game so far. The Manchester Revolution with a 6-point lead as we head into the third quarter. And Robin, as we mentioned just before half time, 2 key players for the Revolution on 3 fouls in Martin Edwards and Finn Tonner.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that, both experienced players, I'm sure they'll be able to manage that. But unfortunately, sometimes you just get too involved in the game and those fouls just come your way. So fingers crossed Martin doesn't get on his 4th, or Finn. But if it does, I'm sure Coach Dan Johnson and Gary Peel will make the right changes to ensure not only he doesn't get fouled out of the game, but that Revolution can get the win today.
Yeah, going to be really interesting to see how they adjust here coming out into the third quarter. And the Revolution, as we mentioned before, they are going to be playing in Euro Cup this week, starting on the 1st of February to the 4th. And out in Europe with
Hanover.
Hanover, thank you. Out there with the Sheffield Steelers, the London Titans, Plymouth Fusion will be over there. And the Mohawks, they have got a qualification tournament for the 2025 competition coming up later this year as well. So again, some more great British representation.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Mohawks are a fantastic Northeast club, really looking to cement themselves, not just in the Premier League, but obviously looking to stamp their claim on Europe as well. So great job to them and the great work that their volunteers are doing.
So back on court, it is Revolution ball as we start things off. Edwards with the inbound. Gets it back, and Edwards with those 3 fouls. He's got 11 points in and out, and looking for that one not to fall. As Plymouth look to come back on the attack. Smith, and we see Jess White into the game for the first time for the Revolution, making a debut this season in the Premier Division as Clifton. Shot doesn't go.
Yeah, Jess White, Scottish international, competed alongside myself at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2 summers ago. A fantastic athlete and very nervous and excited to now be in this Premier League squad.
Well, I know a lot of people are very excited to see it out on court, and what an experience that was. I mean, for yourself, and for the representation out there at the Commonwealth Games last year. Yeah,
it's fantastic. 3x3, different game to 5-on-5, but a good opportunity for smaller nations like Scotland to be able to represent internationally.
Another, obviously 3x3 can be, like you say, it's different, can be a bit faster. There are parts of the game you can take and bring into 5-on-5?
Oh, definitely. There's, it's a fast game, it's a physical game, a lot more physical, I would say, than 5-on-5. The referees definitely let a lot more go, and I think actually 5-on-5 is taking a bit of a leaf out of the book there, as we see the game is just becoming a lot more physical.
As Edwards underneath the basket, his shot doesn't go, but great rebound in there from Baines. And Clifton just coming out of nowhere, getting a hand on that. Forces the Revolution to have to reset. And you see that the reach of Clifton, the length that he's got, able to get in the get underneath the basket and get his hands in the way. Mardy down to Edwards. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Edwards' shot is good. I feel like I never see Martin Edwards' shot just hit the rim. It's just net. It's so clean.
Yeah, up and down.
Clifton on the baseline. And foul on the floor. So it's going to be first on the Revolution. Clifton on the inbound. Bright looking to set things up. Again, Bright's got that space at the free throw line and knocks it down. Back to a 6-point game. 8-point game. Amadi hands it back to Bridge. Mardy working against Smith. That's a nice pass underneath the hoop to Edwards, who gets fouled, and that's going to send him to the line. And Martin Edwards, just an absolutely fantastic player, leading the team in scoring, 28.5 points per game and 10 rebounds. He's got 13 and 3 rebounds so far, along with a couple of assists. First free throw's good. Again, another player that's played out in Europe, played in Italy. And it's always great when we see players that have been in Europe and come back playing in the UK, as second is good.
Absolutely. Revs or Oldham Mills was Martin's first ever club. And it's great that he came back. You know, he's hopefully going to be part of this club for a long time, and it's where he met his wife, actually, Sarah McPhee, GB international player as well.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
10-point lead here for the Revolution. Clifton back to Bright. Bright from the line. Doesn't get that one to go. It was a good look. And Bridge. Loads of space. That's a great screen there from White, but it passes down to Baines underneath the basket, and it's Amadi with the offensive rebound and puts it back in.
Having Tyler on instead of Finn is just that extra wee bit of height. He's certainly gotten a few offensive rebounds since he's been back on.
And that, as we mentioned, that was the kind of a noticeable point in the first half, and look at the defense there from Mardy. Gets a block, put the pressure on Bright, forces him to pass out as Knowles swings it round, and with 2 seconds to go, Smith hits.
That was a very patient offense there from Plymouth Fusion, moving the ball, driving, picks.
And a very good response to that early block from Amadi as well, not to get panicked, just to keep going. Edwards looks to answer and does. Takes him to 17. And the Revolution just stretching out the lead here in the third quarter. Up 12 as Bright goes against Amadi, but knocks it down. Baines has to pass it out as he's swarmed by Fusion players. Bridge behind the three-point line. Pass inside's knocked down. And it will be a Revolution ball from the sideline. So substitution for the Fusion back into the game. Adele Atkin and Joshua Steels. Bridge into Edwards. Gets it back. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3 doesn't go. Edwards with the rebound. Puts it back in. And the foul. Martin Edwards, tough move. So he's going to go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play. And just stretching out the lead here for Manchester. Edwards shooting 75% so far from the line this season. Nails it.
The press is off for Revs now in this third quarter, perhaps to save Martin in those tough situations.
Clifton back to Bright. Clifton gets it back. Shots up and offensive foul called. That was on Dan Smith. So Revolution ball with just over 5 minutes to play here in the third. Edwards over to Bridge. Bridge with the long two. Smith controls things for the Fusion. Smith with space at the free throw line, bounces out. Baines gets it, but I saw Atkin look like she was about to get a hand on it. As Bridge comes powering down, scoop layup drops. And that's 14 for Bridge. Right, looking to go all the way. Draws the foul on the floor.
Abby just getting caught twice now by Jordan Bright, double amputee against double amputee. He's chair positioning defensively, he's just faced up the way, which is just allowing Jordan Bright to take him either way. He needs to dictate and force him one way.
As we see Finn Tonner check back into the game for Billy Bridge. Right, back to Clifton. Clifton comes up against Baines. Nice handoff there to Smith. Can't get the layup to go. And that foul on Amadi was his third, so the Revolution with 3 players on 3 team fouls. As Baines underneath the basket, he draws the contact. So Tyler Baines at the line for 2. As Manchester really stretched their lead here in the third quarter, outscoring the Fusion 15-6 in this third quarter as Baines hits the first free throw.
Big difference being Revs are the ones getting the offensive rebounds this time.
Second one is good as well. Stevens over to Clifton. Stevens gets it back. And to Smith, that was a good pass over there to Atkin, and Adele Atkin gets her first points of the game.
Adele using her height there, she's got long arms to get that ball, reel it back in with Amadi towering over her. Fantastic shot.
Edwards, tough basket, but he just makes it look easy.
Yeah, it's an impressive shot, that.
Shows many, many hours of practice and preparation that goes into it. Stevens, back to Clifton. Stevens looking for some help. Smith's there, and great pressure there from Jess White, you see, forcing the turnover.
Revolution just pushing Plymouth out, a chair width outside of the side of the key, making it tough. You need to break down that defense a bit more.
Edwards, bullet pass underneath the basket to Baines, can't finish underneath. Ball's back with the Fusion. Clifton steals, he's got Baines on him. Back to Clifton, 5 seconds on the shot clock. That one spins out. Edwards, he's got Tonner up ahead. Tonner going all the way, lays it in.
Plymouth, I think, just need to create a bit of separation on their pick and rolls. It's making it really difficult for the picker to get a clean pick, and meaning that Manchester can just almost defend both of them.
Stevens looking to go inside. Offensive foul is called.
Much better chair position from Amadi then to stop that one-on-one drive down the middle, forcing him towards Martin Edwards and forcing the charge.
And a real turnaround here for the Revolution in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think Dan Johnson and Gary Peel will be pretty impressed with this turnaround coming out of the half, really dominating. Plymouth maybe just lost a bit of juice.
As Edwards into Baines, catches it underneath the basket, and that pass, that catch there, so impressive. You saw Baines just one-handed kind of scoop it round and put it in. Smith for the Fusion. Over to Stevens. Clifton. Clifton, long pass over. Back inside. Nice move there from the Fusion, and lucky for that one not to drop. As we got a whistle on the floor.
Smart foul from Adele Atkin there. Manchester had a layup at the other end.
Just forces them to have to set back up. Oh, that was the fifth foul. So that's a fifth team foul from the Fusion. So that is going to send them to the line.
Maybe not so smart foul from Adele Atkin. I take it back. Don't come for me in the comments, please.
So it'll be Amadi at the line. The first one doesn't go. Second is good. So maybe a good foul.
The press is back on from Revs.
Clifton, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. Good pressure there from Baines.
Perhaps Plymouth weren't ready for that press. They certainly will be now.
So just over a minute to play here in the third. Edwards looking to create some space. Swings it round to Amadi. Oh, nice handoff there to White underneath the basket. Gets her own rebound. Out to Amadi. And ball's going to go the other way. Again, I like the positioning of Jess White underneath the hoop.
Yeah, great confidence there. You know, your first basket for the Premier League team can be a bit nerving.
What a steal from Amadi. Going all the way, lays it in. Nemi Amadi in his first game back for the Revolution, just coming out firing. He's got 13 points, 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. Clifton to steals. 10-second difference between the shot and game clock. And that's a foul. That's going to be on Baines. That's his first. And ball's knocked out. It's going to be Revolution ball.
Rev's doing a great job of jumping on the pass, which is just putting the receivers off. That's happened a few times now on that skip pass.
So with 11 seconds to go in the quarter, Revolution can hold here for the last shot. It's Edwards with 6 seconds. Over to Baines. Baines with 3 seconds on the baseline. Needs to put something up. Does, and bounces out. And just checking that wasn't a foul called at the end of the quarter. So at the end of the third quarter, the Manchester Revolution up 62-38. What a swing there in the third for them. A huge play coming out of half time, being up 6. So Robin, we've got a question in the comments here. So thank you to everybody that's watching on YouTube. Thank you very much. Do we know why the Revolution or any other GB teams are not in the Europe's Champions Cup?
It's to do with the points. It's to do with the points that they attain. I think it's over a number of seasons. You go to Euro Cup and you achieve points, and it's just that they haven't finished as high in the past few years. So they'll be looking to get into those Champions Cup qualifying spots. The Owls, who merged with Manchester Mavericks to create the Manchester Revolution, were in the Champions Cup qualifiers. I went a few times to Landil, competing against, Landil, Galatasaray, Albacete, these big powerhouses in European wheelchair basketball. And there's no doubt that that's what Revolution will be looking to do. If they can finish as high as possible in this Euro Cup, they'll get more points. Points mean prizes, and they'll be looking to get back into those Champions Cup qualifying spots.
Great. Ask the expert. Get the answer.
I don't know. Also head to the IWBF website and IWBF Europe website, and you'll find out loads of information on the different Euro Cups, what teams are competing, the stats, where you can find the live streams. It's a fantastic competition. I love watching it all weekend, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely, it's definitely going to be a good one, and that starts on Thursday the 1st of February and goes on until the 4th, which is Sunday.
Do you have any more questions on the chat, or is that the main question?
That was the main one. That was the main question. But yeah, thank you to everybody watching here on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel. We'll be bringing you all the home games for the Manchester Revolution this season. So back underway for the 4th quarter. Let's see if Plymouth can chip into this lead.
We've got some comments from GB Legends Johnny Pollock in the comments, and Andrew Blake, and of course I think Sinclair is in there as well. Hey guys, welcome to the live stream, hope you're enjoying it. You can head over to their delinquents page, where I've seen they put up a GB under-21s where you can see Peter Fimbo, former Oldham Owl, Manchester Revolution, definitely still part of the team in some kind of way. You can see him competing at under-21s. Fantastic video, I've watched it all. So head over to their YouTube, IWB Delinquents, and you can see that stream.
As Plymouth drop it in underneath the hoop. That's the first points of the game for Colin Flounders. Revolution with a healthy lead here in the 4th quarter, up 22, as Baines has loads of space from the free throw line. That shot spins out. There's Bright, nice handoff there to Flounders. It's intercepted by Dawson. Edwards over to Baines. Baines hands it off to Edwards, who puts it in. That's a great pass there from Tyler Baines. He saw Edwards coming up behind him. He had the space, hands it off.
Manchester will be looking to maintain this energy and physicality for this 4th quarter. For them, it's not just about this game, it's about preparing for Euro Cup.
Bridge lines up the 3, doesn't get it to fall.
Nice tap, rebound there from Adele Atkin.
Smith's shot on the baseline doesn't fall. Dawson gets it over to Baines. Baines playing with pace here, comes up against Bright. Oh, weaves his way inside. That shot doesn't go. But what a move to the hoop there for Tyler Baines.
Oh, he's an incredible athlete, Tyler Baines. He's young in his game, you know, he's a bit all ooh at the minute, and the ah will definitely come.
As he gets that one to drop in, and that's great hustle. You see there at the end, the shot didn't fall, but he got back on defense, got the steal, and then went and got himself a bucket.
And it's all those things that build the dog within the player, build that kind of confidence, resilience, and that's what he'll be looking to develop going into next week.
And that takes the Revolution to a 66-40 lead. And the next Revolution home game, so after they'll be playing in Europe this week, they will next be back at home on Saturday the 17th of February against the Mohawks. That game will be at 3 p.m, so come down and support at the National Basketball Performance Centre, or you can catch that game live on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel. And the Division 2 team will be playing as well, so it'll be a double header, 12:30 and 3 o'clock. And the Plymouth Fusion, they are playing the Jaguars away on Saturday the 24th of February. But back on court it is a Plymouth ball. Bright back to Smith, and shot clock runs down. Great pressure defense there from the Revolution.
You can see Coach Dan Johnson just continuously delivering messages, delivering a message, ensuring his team are following the instructions.
Bridge with time and space. That shot rims out.
Dan Johnson, who recently celebrated his 60th birthday out in the Maldives.
Oh, nice.
And of course himself and coach Gary Peel, one of the most successful.
Atkin gets the friendly roll on that one, takes it to 4 points.
One of the most successful players in GB history, winning a silver medal at the Paralympic Games. I believe it was, I want to say 1998. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Along with Colin Price, who's also in the building.
And how great is it for some of the younger players, well, younger and established players on the team to be learning to be coached from someone with, you know, that's achieved so much?
Oh, it's incredible. You know, these young players, we've seen lots of players come through this Manchester Revolution, including Greg Warburton, Laurie Williams, Martin Edwards, to name a few, Pete Fimbo, you know. Tanny Gray Thompson has also played for a long time ago, also played for the Old Mills back in the day. You know, a lot of names have come through. Simon Munn, who's also GB legend. I wish I had the history in front of me because it's absolutely incredible.
I mean, that's just a who's who of absolutely incredible players.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and as I mentioned, Peter Fimbo as well, who also coached the GB under-23 men's squad to success.
And it's great to see, isn't it, the development through the years, how much support and how many more opportunities there are for players to get involved.
Oh, it's incredible, and I think that's what Revolution are trying to improve on. You know, they've got 2 teams in the league, they've got a development session every Sunday, which anyone can attend. I imagine in their future is a women's league team. You know, I'm really excited for what they're trying to do. They're a fantastic club, not only them, but clubs around the country. You know, I think post-COVID, everyone's just kind of re-energising themselves and getting back into the game, and no doubt we lost a few people through being kind of disinterested during COVID, got out of the habit of playing basketball, and it's just exciting to see everyone kind of getting re-energised for it, and hopefully with the Paralympics this summer we'll just see that passion just emphasised even more so.
Yeah, the Paralympics coming up in end of August.
Absolutely.
Early September.
Start on my birthday.
In Paris. Oh, what a great start to your birthday.
I know, 28th of August.
As Edwards, his shot doesn't fall. And we have Rueck into the game for the Revolution. We see Gary Dawson showing off his photography skills on the sidelines. Nice ball movement here. And Flounder's shot doesn't fall. Rebounded by the Revolution.
We did see there Jordan Bright again, taking Amadi one-on-one down the middle.
Edwards, great handoff to Kavanagh. Kavanagh just takes his time and puts it in. Henley Kavanagh, his first minutes of the game today.
Yeah, young lad, 6'4", I think he's 16. Absolutely incredible young athlete coming through.
He was playing for the under-18 Kukuri National Junior Championships this summer in Worcester as Plymouth answer. And also plays for the Swansea Storm in the Junior League, playing the Division 2 team for the Revolution, playing the Premier Division, sorry, and just a really exciting young player. And his wingspan, the length, he makes it really difficult for his opponents to shoot over him. Yeah,
and as a 2.5 player, you know, he's a simple amputee with obviously his hands affected as part of his impairment, so he's a 2.5 player, similar to Greg Warburton and Kyle Marsh, who also play for GB.
So he's going to be at the line for 2. First one is good. Second rolls out, but Amadi tries to get a hand on it, can't tip it. It's Clifton that comes up with the rebound. Bright. Back to Steels. Steels with the long 2. Doesn't get that to fall. Edwards looking up ahead. He's got Amadi. As a reaching foul. So that will be an end-line ball for the Revolution.
Thought that was tough, to be fair. I think Revs got away with that.
As Edwards gets it into Amadi. Back out. Ruek from the free throw line. That is good!
Lovely shot.
First points in a Revolution jersey. I'm sure there'll be lots more to come. Flounders. Flounders gets it inside. Too strong off the glass, but again, nice move to the hoop. And it ball's out. It's going to stay with the Revolution. So Edwards will inbound. Revolution turning things around here in the second half, really putting this lead out of reach. As Edwards, his shot doesn't go. But for Plymouth as well, Robin, yes, the lead's quite far ahead of them at this point in time, but still a lot that they can take from this game. You know, they're going to be, as we mentioned, playing in Eurocup 3 later on in the year, and a lot to learn in situations like this when they're in a real-life game situation.
Absolutely, I think they can take some real positives, especially from the first half. They had a great performance. They were moving the ball. You know, I think when you travel, what was it, 5-6 hours in the morning, I think that's a tough ask of players to be able to commit to 40 minutes. They have played a lot of their players, which is great to see. I think it's just about coming up with answers to Revolution subs and perhaps just finishing those looks.
As Amadi in the corner, looks for his shot, backs out. 5 seconds to go. That's short. Flounders to Bright. See Amadi there pressuring.
Definitely excited to watch Plymouth Fusion in Eurocup. I think that's Eurocup 3.
Definitely, as Clifton hits that, and Joel Clifton has been huge for the Fusion. 22 points in today's game.
Yeah, what I like to see is they are down by 23 points, but he's playing as if it's a tight game, and that's what you want to see from your young players, not giving up.
Definitely, and I love the support you're seeing from the bench as well, from the Plymouth bench, as Amadi drives in, count the basket and the foul. He's going to go to the line. The support from the bench, and Adele Atkin, they're playing in the Women's Premier League. And Robin, you have a game tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow against Adele, yeah, so she's probably tired,
Offensive board for the Revolution as Edwards gets it over to Baines. Baines, nothing but net on that one.
That was fantastic basketball. Henley driving in to take the defender away, just giving Tyler a lot more time on the ball to take that shot.
That takes Baines to 9 points, 9 rebounds, as Clifton comes up against Kavanagh, and you see there Kavanagh with his reach, just a foul on the floor at the end, but Henley Kavanagh just putting the pressure on, and that wingspan just making it really difficult for his opponent.
Yeah, great physicality from a young player. His mum's next to me on the camera, smiling away.
Doing a great job. Clifton to Bright. Steals inside. Gets that to go.
That's not something we've seen from Steels in this game, is driving into the key, taking those kind of post-up shots.
Edwards. That's in and out. Just over 30 seconds to go in the fourth. Bright looks over to Clifton. Clifton up against Baines. Bright gets it back. Clifton, nice handoff there. Layup doesn't fall for the Fusion. Ooh. And balls are going to be from the sideline, so 10.3 seconds to go. It will be Revolution with a chance for the last possession. See what they can set up here. Edwards to Amadi. 6 seconds. Amadi, great pass inside to Baines, who finishes underneath the basket. And at the end of the fourth quarter, it is the Manchester Revolution at 77, the Plymouth Fusion 50. The Revolution coming out of that half-time re-energized behind a 24.7 rebound, 7 assist performance from Martin Edwards. Billy Bridge adding in 14 points, 6 rebounds and 5 assists. And for the Plymouth Fusion, Joel Clifton, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. And Dan Smith adding in 11 and 8. So Robin, a real turnaround for the Revolution there in the second half.
Yeah, I think Tyler Baines was, a big part to that, getting those kind of inside looks, fast breaks. That's something he really adds to this Manchester team, and he really showed it in that third quarter with a wee bit of rest. He was ready to go.
So the Revolution now move on to 4 wins and 1 loss in the Premier Division. They'll be back at home on Saturday, the 17th of February against the Mohawks, but you can catch them in action in Europe Cup this week, starting on Thursday. So make sure to check out their games, give them support, and follow along in the competition. And for Plymouth, Robin, that's they played a really tight first half against the Revolution, 6 points in it going into half time. That's a really positive performance for them.
Definitely, I think it was obvious that Manchester were trying to level up today in preparation for Euro Cup next week, and I really think that Plymouth almost rose to the challenge in terms of physicality in the first half. Really moving the ball, making shots, coping with the jumping both sides, and with the challenges that Manchester put in front of them. But they just couldn't do it for 4 quarters. In the third, maybe they had some jelly beans on the bench, some orange wedges or something. I think they just kind of lost a bit of juice. But I think they should take a lot of positives from this game, take that into the league, but also in their Euro Cup 3 qualifiers in March.
Definitely, and some very exciting players to watch on that squad. You've got Adele Atkin playing in the Women's Premier League, and Joel Clifton, the under-18 player, 22 points today. He's a player with a really bright future.
Oh, fantastic. First time I've seen him play in person. Really exciting young athlete. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on him. No doubt he'll be making waves and in the 23 squad at GB. So yeah, really exciting talent, and great to see clubs developing these young players. It's fantastic to see. And old players as well. I'm an old player, developing me as well.
So the final score from here in Manchester, Manchester Revolution 77, Plymouth Fusion 50. We will be back on Saturday the 17th of February when the Revolution take on the Mohawks. That will be a double header with the Division 2 team playing first at 12:30 and the Premier Division team at 3 o'clock. So make sure to head down to the National Basketball Performance Centre or join us live on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel as we'll be streaming both games for you. So from myself, Kaz Bullock, and from Robin Love, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.